Hello, everybody. We are so grateful that you've chosen to join us for another dirty, dangerous, and daring episode of the Neon Gutter. My name is Bert Cohen. On our last episode, we talked about the website that made our heroes famous, thebigempire.com, a site filled with honest advice, dishonest escapades, an encyclopedia like none other, and a few jokes and haikus sprinkled here and there. Of course, two of the creators and major contributors to that site just happen to be my two handsome co-hosts, Matt and Dan. Hi, Matt.
Hello, and I am very excited about the episode today. One of my heroes will be joining us. Just as I am the hero to many children, he is a hero to me.
And Dan, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us back. Always exciting to be in the gutter again. I'm not a big fan of this guy. He's cost me money. And also has...
He's only cost you money because you've given him money.
Well, he's buried money from me. In other words, I've loaned it without... He never intends to pay it back. And now it's just a sore spot.
We're talking a little cryptically about someone, so let me just get an introduction going here. We've talked a little bit about how you guys got a decent amount of notoriety from the Big Empire website.
Word.
But I think even you two would have to admit that perhaps the main reason the site became so famous really had little to do with either one of you. Instead...
Well, we were the only site on the internet, so...
Yeah. Well, that helped a little bit too. But really, I think the popularity came from the fact that you hosted the writings of one of the world's foremost and unorthodox gambling authorities. And his world-famous gambling guides, known as Incredisystems, have helped countless people win in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, Monte Carlo, really anywhere a wager could be placed around the globe. Today, we're fortunate enough to have him with us on the podcast to help you, our beloved listeners. So please welcome to the show, Lucky Ned. Hi, Ned.
Ned.
Hello. Hello. Settle down.
I'm pretty settled.
I'm
for
settled.
For our listeners who may not be aware of your reputation, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'm Lucky Ned. I basically am the owner of Las Vegas, Nevada. Every time I go into town, casino owners shake with fear. And why? It's because I know how to gamble. I'm just plain good. There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. I'm just good. In fact, I'm so skilled at games of chance that even when I might appear to be losing, I'm really cleaning out casino after casino. Now, you've heard of the Landmark Casino?
Sure.
Gone. Hacienda Casino?
Yeah.
Gone. Western Hotel and Casino? Sadly gone.
Sadly, yeah.
Rio Casino?
Well, that's still around.
It's still there.
But that's on the way out.
That's true.
And now, why do you think they closed down? Because they had no more money to give to me in payouts.
Is that true? Really? You bankrupted all those casinos? That's amazing.
Why else would they close?
That's a good point. Now, do you have a secret to your success? You said there's no gimmicks. There's a lot in the gambling world of advice. There's a lot of gimmicks, but do you have a real secret to your success?
A secret and a gimmick is separate. I have a secret. I just don't have a gimmick.
Okay. Can you share some of your secrets with us?
My secret comes down to three little words. Three words. That's right. Two of them start with the letter G. One of them ends with an H. Some of them are 4 letters long.
So it's not like the Wordle.
Wish goats girls.
What are you? No, it's not wish goats. Well, maybe that would work, but in this case, no.
Which one ended in an A? Oh, wish.
Something is.
Yeah. It's not about wishing. It's close though.
Cash
Fish.
in
You guys
hand?
will never get it, so let me just tell you the secret before we waste any more time. The secret of my success: go with guts.
Oh.
Say it with me now. Go with guts.
With guts.
Well, thank you for joining us today. The secret's been given. We'll see you next week.
No. We've got a lot more to.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more to ask because we need a few more details because I know that your Incredisystems have a lot of detail in them. They've got a lot of instructions and do's and don'ts. Now, just in terms of your background, Ned, do you have an advanced math degree? How did you come up with these systems?
What
Yeah, no, it's a good question because we have, most gambling
Advanced
systems that are
math.
successful are based on eudaimonic pie for roulette or card counting for blackjack or dice setting for craps. So, I mean, there's got to be some foundation that you started with when you built your systems.
Well, I don't know about that pie one, but that sounds pretty good to me. Maybe if there's a chocolate cream pie in there.
Well, no, it's a theory. It's not edible.
Oh, you could just throw all that straight out the window. Okay, I'll actually first get a hotel room on the top floor and then throw them out of that window. Look, let me tell you about my philosophy of the game and how to win. My philosophy is this. A thinking player is a losing player. Don't think so much. Go with guts. This inevitably leads to great success. And if you're winning, why do you need to think? You just win.
So this sounds different than any other text or books on gambling that I've read. Ned, do you want to say a bit more about going with guts?
Okay, look, you learn how to play the game of your choice. Blackjack, craps, slots, roulettes, hold them, whatever. And now you know as much as anyone else who walks into the casino. But look, Lucky Ned doesn't stop there. No, now I'm going to teach you how to win. Step 1, tune in with your guts. Got it? Now you sit down, shut up, and stop playing, because the longer you wait, the more you're not winning.
Wait a minute. How does one tune in with their guts?
Yeah, see, that's what's always puzzled me, Ned. All the times I've seen you play, I don't get how do you know what your guts are telling you?
It's a guts thing. It's a gut feeling. Look, you think about individual bets, and you just let your mind sort of bounce around. You just sort of free associate until you get a quick feeling about that particular bet's luck factor. Luck factor is it's a gut reaction. It's like a 1 to 10, but sometimes it can be as high as 13 or 14, maybe 16. Or sometimes it's more like a hot or a cold feeling, in which case you multiply by 2. So, like me, give you an example. Like I'm playing roulette. The number 31 is sitting there looking pretty. So it reminds me of Baskin-Robbins ice cream. I get a warm feeling in my tum-tum. And it's also cold because it's ice cream. Anyway, I'll pick 31 because that has a high luck factor. You see how that works? I feel it in my guts, right down here in my tum-tum, and the wheel spins, and there it is, 31, winner!
Wow.
Or maybe let's say I'm playing, yeah, exactly.
Is it
It's
really
amazing.
that easy?
Yeah, well, he's winning right now. I mean, he just won. He's played one hand of roulette on this episode, and he won it.
I did.
Amazing.
Easy. I felt it in my guts. So, okay, like say you're a poker player, I know. Like if you're playing poker, let's say I have a 3, 4, 5, 8. No, 3, 4, 5, 7. Right now, if the 6 comes, I'll have 3, 4, 5, help me out here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a straight. That's a good hand.
Yes.
Yeah, it usually is a good hand.
So I really would like that. So that means the luck factor is high.
Okay.
And if a 6 comes, I have a straight all the way to 7. And 7 has a high luck factor, so I really want it. That's why I call and raise. And there it is! That's how you go with the guts. You just win.
So can you influence what cards are coming out?
Or is it more of a prediction thing where your gut is telling you?
Yeah.
You
what's
guys are thinking
gonna
too
come
much.
up?
You're thinking too much. You just feel it in your tum-tum. And then you bet, and in this case, raise, and you win. That's all there is to it. Every time you guys went to college, I bet.
I did go to college,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
studied math, and so this is all
See
outside
if you can
of traditional
undo that.
math.
Well, that was your problem going to college in the first place. I never went to college. That's why I'm owning Las Vegas. Now, look, let me give you an example. Like, let's say I'm playing Keno. There's 80 numbers to bet. Yeah. You just give me an example of a number. I'll tell you the luck factor.
14.
No. 14, never going to cut it. No. Low fat. I get an ice cold no. All right, you try one, Bert.
All right. 63.
Oh, yes. You feel that warmth? It's
I
coming
do.
right there.
I
felt
do.
that.
I feel that. Yeah.
63 is always coming up, and it's like the best number. It's a 6 and a 3. Try again, Matt.
Okay. Because I feel really strongly about this number. This number feels super lucky to me in my gut. 29.
Oh, my Lord. No. Never. 29 doesn't come up. It practically doesn't
This
exist.
is why you always lose a Keno, Matt.
You're really bad at this, but you'll get it. You might not get it, actually.
All right. Well, let's move on, if you don't mind, Ned, to blackjack. I know it can be one of the most interesting games in the casino, just the way it's played and the way the cards are dealt out. How do you approach it yourself?
Need guts. The guts is here too.
Oh, okay.
Now, before I get into the facts and figures about this, I want to tell you, you're already thinking about it too much. So this is we're recording this for something?
Yeah, this is going to go on our podcast.
The podcast. Right. So if you're listening, don't pay attention. Because if you learn anything, you got to forget it
I think
before
they rarely
you start
do.
playing. Oh, good. Because remember, thinking blackjack player is a losing blackjack player. So you can go to the Neon Gutter website and see the chart on blackjack. You may have to click this or that like you do, and you'll get to my chart on blackjack. That tells you when to hit, when to stay, when to double down, when to fold, and when to go with guts, which is all the time. Memorize that chart and you can't go wrong, provided you forget it entirely and don't think about it too much.
Well, you didn't mention splitting. What about splitting? Because that's a powerful tool for the player.
What's that?
Like if you have a pair of aces and you can split them, and so you get two hands out of it, or a pair. It has to be a pair, basically.
Split. Yeah, right. Splitting. Of course. Yeah, I call that meiosis. It's like taking two fives and you split them into two different hands.
Right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to do that with fives, right?
Yeah. No.
Because two fives is a 10, and that's really good for the player to start off with.
Two fives do not up to 10, you eggheads. Don't be jerks. In blackjack, 5 plus 5 equals trouble. You got to split those fives. Actually, get them as far apart on the table as the dealer will let you. You could even move one onto another table if you can.
Wow.
It's not actually you got to see what you can get away with, because they don't like you to move the fives too far apart, because they know then you're more likely to win if they're too far apart.
Yeah, I've seen you split, so I know you know about it. In fact, one time I saw you try to split a 7 and a 6, and the dealer wouldn't let you. And I remember
I thought they were close enough, frankly. My guts was saying to do it.
Well, I remember you stormed out of the casino furious, and everyone was just like, it kind of froze things. But then you came back 30 seconds later, grabbed your drink, and left again.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about drinks in a bit. That's an important point.
So, like, what if the dealer has a 5 or a 6,
Dealer has it. It doesn't matter if the dealer has a 6 or a 4 or a slice of lemon meringue pie, or that other pie you were talking about. You always split the fives. You see, fives want to be 10s, and then they take out their frustrations on you by summoning busting cards to the top of the deck. If I see 2 fives, I get a aching in my tum-tum that says, get those fives apart. Remember, you go with my guts, and my guts say split them. In fact, look, anytime you get a pair, that's rare. And you got lucky by getting a pair of any of things. So just take advantage of the luck of a pair and make one lucky hand 2, and never underestimate the power of luck.
Yeah, but what about like if you have a pair of 10s? That makes a 20, which is one of the best hands, and you're going to win like over 70% of the time.
Thought alert. Keep your brain out of the game and get the 10s apart. Besides, if you got 2 10s, the odds are much fair in your favor. You'll get 2 more. And you can keep on splitting. Split and win lickety split. That's what I always say.
Could you say that phrase one more time? I think that's an easy way for our listeners to remember some of your advice.
I like using rhymes. Split and win lickety split.
Okay.
I always say that.
Thank you.
Split and win lickety split. See, I said it again. And also, a lot of folks in Vegas never heard of splitting. And if you split while they're watching, it makes you seem like you know what you're doing and you know the game inside and out.
How does that help you win? Just because people know you think you know what you're doing.
Oh, see, now there you go, Mr. Thinky, thinking too much. Do you want to think or do you want to win?
Well,
yeah.
Do you want to think? It's a one-word answer. Do you want to think or do you want to win?
I guess win.
Then let's move on. Because cocktails, we got to get back to cocktails. Let's say you lose a hand or 2 every once in a while. Unlikely, but into every life a little rain must fall, said the great poet. And that is part of guts. Now listen, if you're playing slowly, you can never lose. That's because in casinos, they bring you free cocktails. A cocktail could cost $30 if you're at Bellagio or Mandalay Bay, maybe $40. You might pay $100 for a cocktail. You might. So if you drink enough free cocktails, you'll always be in the black. And if there's any doubt about that, you can dump the extra ice onto the floor and just put the glass into your pocket or the front of your pants. There's
What does
stores
that
in
do?
Las Vegas. There are a few stores downtown that will give you 25 cents for each glass you bring in. So if you play slow, you can get cocktails and drink everything that you lose and then take the glasses. And so remember, play slow. Also, could I get a cocktail over here? Some more of these pretzels.
Yeah, we don't have any cocktails in the studio here, Ned. We don't have a waitress on staff.
So, Ned, you're going to be waiting a while for that drink. Do you have any additional blackjack strategies you can share?
Sometimes the dealer lets you cut the cards. So many people simply take that little plastic cutter thing and just put it in there. They don't even think about it. That's a waste of a perfect opportunity to shift the possibility in your favor. What these people don't understand is that a bad cut means the guy next to you gets all the good cards. Now, see, when I cut, I go with...
Guts?
Are you guys falling asleep on me? Of course, guts!
Yeah.
I go with guts. Sometimes I cut...
I was gonna say goats. I'm still not all the way.
Goats!
I'm still learning.
Gluts?
Okay, I will take some patience and remember that you are but novices on the way.
Exactly.
But write it down that you could actually get a tattoo on the inside of your eyelids. So when you close your eyes, it'll be right there. Go with guts.
But how do you cut the cards with guts? That's what I don't understand.
Well, sometimes I just feel it in my tummy, and sometimes I cut them low, and sometimes I'll cut them high, but I feel it in my stomach first. And it helps if you say a little rhyme. Like I'll cut them near the top, and I'll say, cut them high and fly. Or if I cut them near the bottom, I'll say, cut them low and go, go, go.
What about the middle? Can you cut the middle?
Cut them in the middle, and it'll be sweet like you ate a cherry Skittle.
Wow.
You see?
Do they make cherry Skittles?
Do they? Yeah, I think so.
So, Ned, you've been around Vegas a long time. Since we met you, God, over 20 years ago. You've been kind of an omnipresent person in the town. So you must have met a lot of the big celebrities. Like, did you know Bob Stupak and you used to go to his place?
Knew him? You might as well ask if Bob Stupak knows me. Personally, I never heard of the guy.
Oh, really? What about like Benny Binion or, that had Binion's Horseshoe?
Or like Jackie Gone. He had, a lot of the places we've seen you playing, like the Western, the Gold Spike, and the Las Vegas Club.
They all sound like a bunch of losers to me. Do any of them go with guts?
Well,
Kind of.
yeah.
Oh, all right. Yes, I've met them all.
So one of the things, a game we like to play a lot is we like to play craps. And I've seen you play craps, and you have your own distinct style, which I don't understand. So maybe now you can explain it.
See if you can guess what I think about when I'm playing craps.
You're going with guts. I can guarantee it.
Now you're getting it. Because obviously I win every single time I throw the dice. My craps rampages are legendary. Also iconic. So first you got to know, not everyone knows about craps. You got to know what to look for. The craps table is long and made of wood. And there's people working at the table. Two of them have hook sticks to gather the chips. Those are the hookers. Then there's a guy who sits in the middle. He's the middle guy, or the middle lady. Then there's guys handing out all the chips. I call them choo-choo because I like to go chugga, 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 chugga when they push the big stack of chips to me. And they do that a lot. If a lady is holding the hook stick, by the way, I found it best not to say she's a hooker.
Good advice.
Yeah. And now if I use those terms at the casino, I'm going to sound like a real pro, right?
Exactly correct.
If I say, hey, choo-choo, break this 20 for me.
Everyone should be saying, hey, choo-choo, break this 20 for me. Exactly. If you say everyone who goes to Vegas should call them the choo-choo. That's what they're called. Because then they go choo. Yes.
Always do. Now, how do you find that's how you find a craps table, but how do you find a winning table?
Oh, that is the golden question right there. That is a golden question.
Thank you. Yeah.
The way is to look for a table where people are winning.
Oh.
That's how you know it's a winning table.
That's simple, but makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So see if you could picture you're in a casino and there's two tables. One of them is quiet, and it looks like everyone's standing there gambling. Maybe they're in a library and a puppy just died while they were eating lemons. Now, do you think that one is a winning table, yes or no?
No.
No, I don't think so. Especially with the lemons. I wasn't sure until the lemons came into play.
Well, you got this one right. I think you're learning about guts. Because people who are losing don't make a peep, but people who are winning will wake a dead man from sleep.
That's another rhyme.
Love it.
So
Love it.
you listen to sounds of shouts of delight. And also look for cocktail servers buzzing around because they know where the good tips are. So you go to that one, and you usually have to use your elbows. This is when you go with elbows instead of go with guts. The one time you go with elbows, because it's going to be crowded. So you push your way in there, then you throw down your money, and your profits won't be funny, clown.
So I've heard the don't pass line has slightly better odds if you bet don't pass. So how do you bet?
But don't be a
Ned?
jerk. Bet on the pass line. That's the way to start. Nobody ever bets on the don't pass line. Don't do that. Nobody likes a negative person. Now look, if you're on the pass line and the shooter rolls a 7 or a hot limbs, you win, which happens pretty much every time. If anything else comes up, the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, maybe a 10. Anyway, one of those, that's the point. If you get the point, you get the pesos. Because more throw means more dough. So you can keep on betting other things. But now if a 7 comes out, you lose. But it's tricky old number 7. See, the trick is knowing when the 7 is going to happen and then take the appropriate steps. And then you can ask the choo-choo if the 7 is going to win this time or lose this time. That way you can tell.
So that's a good point, because sometimes the 7 can win for you and sometimes it can't. It's super complicated, which is why we need your advice.
Yeah. And but how do you know if a 7 is going to be thrown or not?
Right. Well, that's a good question. I wish there was some kind of system that might help us out figuring that out. Maybe some kind of system that has 3 words where 2 of the words start with a G and one ends with an H, and none of them is not goats. Listen again, my friends. Go with guts. Go with guts with that. Plus, there's some clear signs. You always know there's some obvious telltale signs that a 7 is going to happen next. Look for this. If the dice hit someone's hand.
All right, I'm writing this down.
Yeah.
That's when a 7's coming. If the dice hit fresh money that someone is just starting to lay on the table, very next roll, what I tell you, it's a 7. Look, if a man comes up and says, I'm doing this for the first time, he's going to pick up the dice, boom, 7. Always, first roll. If a man is rolling the dice and calls for a mixed drink that involves milk, 7 ahead.
You're the only person I've ever seen ask for drinks with milk in them, though, Ned.
That sounds gross.
Milk and vodka is pretty good. You really should try it. And then you get more 7s, too. Now, if you hear someone even mention the number 7, as in like, I have 7 children that I fed 7 donuts to, or I have these 7 welts on my stomach, I don't know how they got there. If somebody just says the word, then you know the next roll is going to be a 7. So if somebody, speaking of drink orders, if someone orders a 7 and 7, then the next 2 rolls are going to be a 7.
Wow.
And one more, if you ever roll the dice in this sequence, 3, write this down, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 8, 5, 2. Then the next number is always a 7. Every time. Just try to prove me wrong on that one.
So that makes a ton of sense in terms of sort of straight rolling. But
it does?
What about I think so. I mean, craps is very complicated, but if you can distill it down to Ned's
simplifying
simple,
it for you guys.
Ned's simple strategies, I think it makes sense. But I'd love to play the big 6.
Oh, yeah, that's a good bet. That's a good bet. Anything where you can say that's what she said, that's a good bet. Big 6, big 8, don't come. If there's like a joke like that, that's a good bet. And if there's a bet called Lucky Ned, I love you, you'd want to take that every single time.
So, Ned, what else? Like the fields, the hard ways?
The field, good bet. Hard ways, really good bet. Because that's what she said, hard ways, right? Really good bet, but they are hard to get. Now, the horn is a good bet. C and E, I don't know what that means, except that I know it's a good bet. Place bets, those are all good bets. If you could throw out a chip and just say big red, that's also a good bet. It always wins. You can also call a potato dog. That's a good bet.
What exactly is a potato dog?
I don't know, but it's a good bet. And you can also say, I call the tall. Some casinos, let's say, I call all the tall or I call all the small. Those are all good bets, especially if you go with guts.
It's a little hard to keep up because there's a lot of information you're giving to us, but I'm sure there's something to the science of setting the dice or special throwing techniques that help those who are already going with guts to really maximize their luck. Is this true in your system?
Incredisystem, actually. Incredisystem.
Sorry.
And that's trademarked. Yes, of course. Of course what you're saying is right, Bert. When the dice are in your hand, are you just going to throw them like you don't even care? That's a waste of luck. No, when you get your throwing, get your mojo going. That's what I always say. And split and win lickety split. I say that all the time, too.
I've heard you say both of those, yep.
So get the dice filled with your voodoo, Jack. Here's how you do it. You rattle the bones in your hand. You actually rattle them so they make a rattling noise. And when you do that, while you're doing it, you go, like that. You blow on your hand and rattle. And then just short puffs of air, not one continuous stream. Don't be stupid about it. That should be obvious. Then you talk to the dice. You got to ask for what you want. You pretend the dice, I'm going to pretend I have some dice right here and I'd be saying like, come on, baby. Ned wants to see lucky number 8. I want that winning roll, whatever it might happen to be, because I got a lot of chips out there. I can't even keep track. So please come on and win. And that's when you throw hard, fast, all the way to the end of the table. And as you let go of the dice, it's really lucky just to yell out, woo, Nelly. Or maybe you have your own style. But then finally the dice come to rest, and then you yell like a mountain goat because you won.
All right, well, okay, so you're talking about getting him down to the other end of the table. What about like height? What do you believe in the lucky zone where a certain altitude above the table is where the luck is?
Matt loves the lucky zone.
You've been reading my guides, Grasshopper.
Yes.
That's right. The lucky zone. Aim high and you'll win all kinds of money with which to buy things. I always say that.
It rhymes.
If you can get the dice up to eye level, your 7s will only come out when you want them to. And if you can get the dice over the heads of everyone at the table, you wind up rolling 11 11s in a row. I'm sure you've experienced that.
No. Maybe I'm not getting them high enough.
Yeah.
If you graze the dice against the ceiling tiles, and the casino is then required by law to tip you $100, no strings attached.
Wow.
Is that really a law? That's wild.
That's a law. That you can go down to Nevada City Hall and look up code XYZ. I don't know what it's called, but it's in there. It's in the Nevada Constitution.
Well, I can tell you the next time I'm in a casino, I'm going to throw the dice straight at the ceiling and then wait to be paid.
I believe it.
You might discover a lucky zone I don't even know about.
Now, you've got these time-tested, scientifically proven strategies to help you win, but the thing that I kind of love about craps is it's got all these superstitions that people have at the table. Do you have any superstitions that you have when you're playing craps?
I don't like superstitions. I like to think of them as facts.
Okay.
Like, for instance, if you wear a skull ring, increases your winnings by 17%.
Wait, a skull ring? What's a skull ring? Like like a
ring
hat
with a skull on it. No, a ring on your finger with a skull.
Oh,
with a skull with the scarier the better. By the way, if the skull has wings or fangs, that's better. But even just a regular skull, a skull ring, increase your winnings by 17%. Albert Einstein actually proved that when he said E equals MC squared. What do you think the C stands for? It stands for craps. The M stands for skull rings. So what else? Let's say if a woman is dicing, she will have the touch. Women always have the touch. That's just physics. Albert Schweitzer proved that one. Women are just luckier at dice. Have you ever met a craps player called Mom?
I have.
Yeah.
You know Mom?
We have before.
Oh,
Mom,
yes, we've
we met someone named Mom. Yeah.
And very lucky, right? Maybe not lucky in life, but very lucky at craps.
That's a not so kind way of putting it.
Ladies get hot rolls every time. Let's see. This is a fact. Don't wear Argyle socks while dicing. Big mistake. Coco Chanel proved that one. If you run a roll in 11, you touch a rabbit's foot to the back of your knee. I don't know why that works, but Arthur C. Clarke proved that. It always works. If not on the first or second throw, then definitely on maybe the third or fourth or fifth or the sixth or the seventh throw or the eighth, ninth, 10th throw, 11th, 12th, 13th throw.
Well,
14th,
hey,
15th,
thank you very much,
15th,
Ned.
16th, or 17th.
We just need to take a
18th.
quick break, but when we come back, we're going to hear some more of your winning strategies.
20th,
But
21st,
in the
22nd.
meantime, let's go listen to some ads with guts. We'll be right back.
31st, 32nd, 33rd. As long as you touch that rabbit foot to the back of your knee.
Hey guys, do you want to learn how to be more popular with girls? Just call 976-GUTS because
You want to go out with girls like me? Well, you can. It's easier than you think. All you need is the guts. Just call the pickup line, 976-GUTS. You'll learn the art of meeting girls like us.
976-GUTS. You'll learn where to meet girls, how to meet them, and what to say. $2 plus toll. Call now.
Hey, Sig Maniacs, it's me! What do you mean, who? It's me, Lucky Ned, world famous toy horse handicapper. It's time for another Sigma Derby race that you, as a listener of the Neon Gutter, can play with us, the people who bring you down into the gutter. Now, I'm going to tell you the Quinella odds on the next race, whatever that means, and you can bet all the hypothetical quarters you want. Just slam them in there and press those buttons. Next time the hosts of this podcast take a break, then we'll give you a live call of the race with all the crowd noise you could possibly tolerate. Today, the one horse is looking pretty good. That horse tends to hog the inside track. The 5 horse is coming in with a very horsey smell today. The number 2 horse poops like a champ. So with that in mind, the 1-2 combo is paying 6 to 1. 1-3 plays 16 to 1. 1-4 will pay 4 to 1, and the 1-5, inside and outside, that's the chicken's favorite. It pays 2 to 1. The 2 horse is where it's at, and the 2-3 combo is going to break the bank with payouts of 106 to 1. 2-4 promises 26 to 1, and 2-5 is set at a tight 13 to 1. The 3-4 is the secret hot tip today, 71 to 1. The 3-5 is 35 to 1. 3-5, 35, that makes it easy to remember. And the 4-5 combo is 9 to 1. Now listen, a friend of a friend of a friend told me that the 2-3 combo with the big 106 payout, it's a trap. But that 3-4 at 71 to 1, that's sure to win. A waterproof coating has been applied to the horse and to the jockey too. Bet at least 10 quarters on 3-4 and cover your bet with 10 more quarters on 4-5 at 9 to 1. You can't lose, because if you aren't going to go with your guts, you can always go with mine. I'm Lucky Ned, and I'll see you soon for the big race.
And we're back in the Neon Gutter with world-famous professional gambler Lucky Ned. Now, Ned, even though they are extremely popular, I have to assume that a savvy gambler such as yourself never even goes near the slots. Is that true?
I consider the time I spend at the slot machine to be golden.
Really?
Helps to cultivate a horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye. But you, young Bert, you're asking an important question. Mm-hmm. Not just how you play slots, but how you win big instead of just winning a little bit here and there, and mostly just waiting for the big payout. Well, so I'm going to tell you how to win. First, only choose a machine that lets you bet in 1 or 5 cent increments.
Really?
That's right, low stakes, yes.
Huh.
You can't actually bet 1 penny at a time these days. You used to could. Oh my gosh, you used to could. I think you know that. When we first met out there in Las Vegas, and this bozo over here, Matt, was still a bozo back then, one penny slots everywhere you could go.
It's true.
Yeah, those days are gone, though.
I remember fondly the days where you reached into my pan and took a bunch of my pennies.
You weren't using them at the time. So you used to could, but now you have to bet at least 50 cents or even maybe $1 at the time. But If you bet 1 penny on each, you can place dozens of bets, sometimes hundreds of bets, all for just a single penny at a time. So when you max out the number of different bets, you max out your luck. Bet lots of little bets on slots and you'll win lots, lots, lots. A little hard to say, but it's true. So only play machines where you can afford to light up all the pay lines every single time.
So are some machines better than others?
Are some pizzas better than others?
Yes.
Are some rock cover bands better than others?
No.
Are some interviewers better than others? Like Dan over here is pretty good. He's a good one. The answer obviously is yes. Have you ever even been to Las Vegas? Look, obviously the best machines are the ones with buffaloes. That's rule number 1.
They do have a lot
Bet
of
on the
machines with
mach-
buffaloes
Yeah.
these days.
Yes, exactly. That's why Las Vegas is so lucky. Landmark Casino, gone. Look, you bet on the machine with the bison and you'll win millions. Yes, my son.
It seems like all the best wisdom rhymes.
But they're effortless rhymes. They
Oh,
just,
yeah.
They're
They
effortless.
just roll off the tongue.
Rule 2, if you can find a machine with your astrological sun sign, what's your sun sign?
Scorpio.
I don't know. What is a sun sign?
Oh my God. Well, let's skip this. Scorpio. Let's go with Scorpio. Then you find a Scorpio machine, max it out. Or the moon sign or rising sign. Not Jupiter, though. Bert, you got to get your chart done. A lady friend of mine read my chart and told me this some years ago. Never bet on Jupiter. But if you can find a machine that has your home state on it, you can bet that, and you'll always win. I look for Nevada slots and also New Jersey, which is where I was born.
Oh, interesting.
Rule 3, you didn't know that. See, because I used to own New Jersey, but I left there. Rule 3, play machines based on your favorite TV shows, movies. You like Ghostbusters? There's a Ghostbuster. You like Little Shop of Horrors? Rock bands? They could play a Kiss slot machine.
Andy Griffith Show?
Because if Andy Griffith Show slot machine, Electro Woman and Dinah Girl slot machine, I think they got that.
What about something like the ones with the kittens and the yarn on them? Because those seem like a lot of fun.
Definitely good. I would say go with your guts on that. I think it's more the things you like. Because if you're reminiscing about TV shows and then you keep pressing maximum bet and spin wheels, you're just winning by being with your favorite TV show or rock band. So you're winning even no matter what.
That kind of makes sense.
You know, oftentimes when we're in Vegas, we try to get a hold of you because you owe Dan quite a bit of money.
He said that was all right. I didn't have to pay it back.
And when you answer,
I
you
never
say
said
you're
that.
all over the world. You're somewhere in Europe. You're somewhere in Asia. You can't meet him right now because you're on the other side of the earth. So, what about roulette? Like when you're overseas, do you play roulette? Because I've heard that's very popular in Europe.
Oh, yeah, it's very popular. Let's see. I'm getting you to loosen up a bit here. Are you sure I can't get a cocktail over here? I'd really love a cocktail.
No, you got to bring your own.
We can't help you at the moment.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, in roulette, you can bet all kinds of ways. You can bet 1 number at a time, or 2, 3 at a time, 4, 5, 6 at a time. You can bet all the reds or the blacks or the greens, the evens, odds, highs, lows. You can even bet all the numbers at the same time. That way you win every time. Now that I told you that, you know as much as anybody else who walks up to the roulette wheel. But now I'm going to teach you not just how to play, but how to win. First off, don't waste any time. Sit down and lay out some chips. You'll learn it by doing it, so do it. That way, by the time you know what you're doing, you're already going to be winning big. And then you'll have enough money to win even more. Now, there's a lot of debate among roulette academics and eggheads that I meet about which numbers come often and when. If a single number comes up several times in a row, some idiots say you should bet it again because there's a streak happening. Other people, mostly smart people, say don't bet the number that keeps coming up because it probably won't come up again. What that probably means is for every time a number comes up, there's 1 fewer of that number left in the roulette ball. So if you got a bunch of 8s in a row, probability says it probably won't be an 8 another time. Schrodinger proved that one with the whole cat thing.
This is very different than what I learned in school.
The school doesn't teach you much, believe me. That's why I never went.
You were scoffing about math, but it seemed like there's a lot of math involved.
Yeah.
I-
It's just not
This isn't-
conventional math.
This is called guts math.
Okay.
All right.
Does the GUTS stand for something?
Guts. So even more important is just to go with guts.
Do you think someone could build a rocket that made it to the moon using guts math?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just talking about playing gambling and roulette. If they have a casino on the moon, then definitely.
So in roulette, though, there's a lot of numbers obviously out on the layout, but they're all basically the same, right? Everything else being equal?
Definitely not. Because you got unlucky numbers and lucky numbers. Like the unlucky numbers, 0 and 00 and the 000. The heroes don't bet zeros.
I like that one. I'm going to remember that.
Yeah.
Lucky numbers and split and win lickety split. Just remember that. Lucky numbers. So lucky numbers are numbers that 3 goes into. Those are the lucky ones. Because 3 is a very lucky number. Also 7, for obvious reasons, and 31, like I said, maybe that's an ice cream thing. It's just a lucky number. There is an exception, number 6. Do not bet 6. Stay away from that 6. That little bastard is going to break your heart. Do not bet the 6. 6, death.
But wouldn't a ball...
Okay. Right.
What if the ball used up every other number in it except for the 6?
Oh, wow. That is a very advanced question right there. This time I'm going to have to go with guts and first go to the bathroom. That kind of go with guts. And then when I get back from the bathroom, the table will have reset. And then I can bet on the other numbers and not have to worry about that 6.
Yeah, I
Don't
think
bet the
I think
6.
these days they close the table before the ball loses that many numbers out of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we've covered blackjack, craps, slots, roulette. I love to play poker. How about poker? You have some tips for me in terms of playing poker?
Poker is for idiots. Only idiots play poker. So the winning move there is not to play. No offense.
Okay. Well,
that's pretty much everything.
I can't argue with you. I can't argue with you on that. Actually, I mean, you should see some of the idiots who've won the Solar System series of poker for sure.
Yeah, but that's so all right. Yeah, so we've pretty much covered everything then. That's the casino.
You are so naive. It's kind of cute.
What?
You're just a fool, and I mean that in the best possible way. You remind me of when I was young like you, before I discovered that there is another game in the casino. I'd say it's maybe the best game of all. No, it is the best game of all.
Sports betting?
Hunting human beings?
Oh.
Not sports bet. What'd you say, Bert?
The most dangerous game? Hunting human beings?
Did they do that in a casino?
At the Bellagio, I think.
I wouldn't put them past it.
Yeah. High roller room. What about bingo? Oh, well, it can't be bingo, right?
No, not bingo. No.
Pai Gow?
Pai Gow? What?
Baccarat?
Huh?
No, three card poker then.
What? Well, no, what's that?
We're running out of games here.
Yeah,
What's left?
Do you think he means
What do you think?
Keno?
No.
Yes! Now you're speaking my language. Keno. Keno is the game of champions. Keno is the game of geniuses. Steve Wynn spotted me in the casino, in the Keno lounge at the Railroad Pass Casino. I had 10 tickets in my lap, and he was just staring at me, his jaw swinging like a welcome sign of a ghost town, because not even the big boys can have the pressures of Keno. But for me, Keno means colossal quantities of Keno cash. And soon it will mean the same to you when you learn my Incredysystem for winning a Keno. Keno, that's right. I'm surprised you boys got it. So when you try to pick winning numbers in Keno, you have to listen to your spirit, because if you hear it in your spirit, you gotta bet on or near it.
Just a quick question. Is the spirit the same as the gut, or is it a different voice within you?
Similar but related. They're kind of like cousins, but kissing cousins, because sometimes they exchange places.
What if my gut and my spirit are giving me different advice?
That will never happen. But if it does, listen to your guts.
Okay.
Or your spirit.
You talk about Keno, but it's mostly like old ladies that play that game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed.
I don't see a lot of like high rollers or big time gamblers or cool people playing Keno.
First, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And listen, if women's intuition says Keno's the winner, who am I to disagree? And By the way, some of those women are pretty lonely, and they have big houses with empty bedrooms, and they're lonely. And listen, in Keno, this is the big thing. In Keno, you have a choice of 80 different numbers. 80 numbers to bet on. What do I always tell you? The more numbers, the more ways there are to win, the more you win. What do I always say? The more numbers there are in a game of luck, the more ways there are to win. But you are no mathematician, if I am not mistaken.
No, I am.
He kind of is.
You're saying I'm mistaken.
Yes.
Well, then brace yourself from mathematical proofs. You could check me on this. You could choose between 2 and 10 numbers, or sometimes even up to 20. So that gives you 117 quadzillion possible combinations to bet on. That's right, 117 quadzillion. But let's say if only conservative 43% of those combinations are actual winners. That's still 94 hexajillion combinations that are sure to pay off sooner or later. Now, as a number of winners, I think as a mathematician, you'll back me up. The 94 hexajillion is not too shabby. But don't interrupt me now. I saw that. Don't interrupt me. It doesn't stop there. As we will soon see, there are 3 kinds of Keno. So you can multiply that number by 4, and it's basically infinity ways to win. So, my grasshoppers, you have to get keen on Keno.
Bert, the numbers check out.
Do they really? It's astronomical math. I can't wrap my head around it.
It's huge.
Pretty sure it does.
Huge. This is why I win. So when I say there's 4 kinds of Keno, you can play Keno in a parlor. You can play Keno in any fine dining establishment.
Oh yeah,
because if it ain't got Keno,
they've got the crayons there and stuff. Sometimes in the cafes and in the coffee shops.
If it ain't got Keno, it ain't fine dining. That's been my motto since day one. And then you got video Keno on video machines. What's the 4th one? I don't know.
Yeah, that's 3, right?
Well, let's round it up to 4. There you go. Now we've explained it. So the main thing with Keno is that you mark your Keno card, and you just mark all the boxes either on a crayon, with a crayon, or the way the computer tells you. But listen, if you're using a crayon, you can get creative. Some people just put simple X's or O's. They're missing out. You take that crayon and work some magic with it like a magic wand. I like to use a smiley face or sometimes a little poop emoji or something to make it more likely that the numbers want to match your marks you made. An 80 doesn't want to just land on an X. An 80 would rather land on a little teddy bear picture. You could draw a little eggplant. Like I had this lady I met at the supermarket. She keeps sending me these pictures of eggplants on my phone. I keep telling her, lady, I'm not the produce guy.
So, all right, so there's 80 numbers. I mean, do you have any tips on which ones to pick?
Yeah,
it
seems like there's so many options. I wouldn't know what to pick.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
right.
really intrigued now.
Well, there's many sources to find lucky numbers, and I say use everything. Use them all. Like for the numbers of your birthday, or your birth year, or your birth month. That's going to win every single time. You were born, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
You're born, so you already won. So you could take numbers from your driver's license or other ID cards. Those are always good bets. Maybe a number on a dry cleaning tag. If you like Chinese food, save the fortune cookies. Lucky numbers on the back of the fortunes.
That's true. I've seen those. Numbers
that remind you of someone special that you know. Like my friend
8? Your friend 8?
You could choose a number that represents a certain sex thing that some people do. Numbers that you notice out of the corner of your eye. You could look for numbers on your cell phone. Maybe the number of times you've been kissed in some recent period of time. For me, that would be like many. You could even call out to somebody nearby like, hey, somebody give me a random number between 1 and 80, and then use that. You could use numbers from your favorite Bible verses, or maybe count the grains of sand in your pocket, even though you haven't been to the beach in many years. Boom, lucky number. Count the number of socks you're wearing, and you can bet on that one too. 1, 2, 3, whatever. You could bring some dice in with you, and then you combine the dice by rolling the dice and using those numbers in Keno. And that's a new game I just invented called Craps Keno, which is extremely lucky. I've won hundreds of dollars already on Craps Keno.
Wow. Well, can you give us an example?
Sure, pick a number and I'll tell you about the luck factor. Go ahead, Bert. What number you think you might pick on Keno?
we did this earlier, and I got a good reaction out of 63, so I'm going to go with 63
Again, an excellent choice for Keno. 63 is going to come up at least every single time. At least. How about you, Matt?
77.
No, not that one. Why would you even pick 77?
Yeah, why would you pick that? That's weird.
I don't know. It's a good number.
Not in this case.
All right. What about Dan? Dan, how about you?
How about 16? Okay, yeah, how about 18?
18 is my absolute favorite number. I just don't know why. It's just such a great number because you've got the 1 and the 8, and you flip it upside down and it's still 18. What's not to like?
And 3 goes into it too, right? That you said that was lucky before.
That's right. And it's a prime number, by the way.
I'm not sure about that.
Let's move on.
Okay. We do need to move on to a break, actually, Ned. So thank you for bringing that up. We got to take one more break. But when we come back, we're going to take all these theories and put them to the test.
These are not theories. These are facts.
Okay, well, we're going to put them to the test anyway with some live blackjack. And we're going to find out if Ned is really full of guts or full of something else. We'll be right back.
I'm full of soda.
Oh, Mom! Hi, listen, I can't talk to you right now. We're on our way to Las Vegas. What about the children? Staying with Alice's sister.
I'll have to take care of hers next month, but it's worth it. Those airline fares.
Oh, we're driving, Mom.
All the way to Las Vegas? It's worth it. Ralph, how much is it going to cost?
Oh, Alice has it all figured, Mom. Gas, accommodations, good food, 4 shows, 3 days, 2 nights, $80 maximum.
$80? It's worth it. Smart girl, that Alice. Tell her mother's coming with you. It's still worth it.
And now it's time for the Neon Gutters Sigma Derby Race of the Week.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're at Sigma Derby at the D, which is also the first letter of my name, Daniel, and also stands for a little bit drunk. And I'm betting a 2-3, which is a long shot, 106. Matt's taking 2-4, which is 26 to 1, A to Z, and Bert's taking 2-5, 13 to 1. Basically, we got the 2s. I'm going to take 1-2 just to make it even. As long as 2 comes in, one of us is going to win, folks. Now, 2 is taking a slow start. It's holding back its energy. Not going to go crazy. But in a minute from now, that 2-horse is going to burst speed. It's a wet track. And when a wet track happens, that 2-horse knows what it's doing. It's what you call a mudder. It likes to run in mud. Now, here comes the 2, up through the pack. Number 2, we're going rail to rail. 1-3, 1-2. Come on, 2, what the? No. It is highly disappointing. 1-5-1. Now, if you had common sense and bet the favorite, you are a winner. And if you listen to the Neon Gutter, you're also a winner, but you don't have common sense. So I don't know what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, good night from the D. Until next time.
Hey, it's Lucky Ned again. We sure cleaned up again, didn't we? Every single time. That's because I had my lucky ham and cheese on rye sandwich just before the race. Pepperoncinis, they're just plain lucky. Now, what do you do if I'm not around next time to play Sigma Derby? Well, go to theneongutter.com and download my Sigma Derby Incredisystem. That's a foolproof method for winning every single time. We'll have more Sigma Derby action for you on the next episode, and now let's get back to the show.
Thanks for coming back to the Neon Gutter. We're here with Lucky Ned, and we're putting his Incredisystems to the test. We're going to have a little round of live blackjack here to see how his system of going with guts does in practical application. So, Matt, you got some cards there?
I do. I'm shuffling them. What's that?
I'm going to bet $5 on this first hand.
5,000?
Yeah, 5,000. No, let's make it 5. Let's make a gentleman's bet. We'll just do $5 on this first hand.
Keep it friendly.
Okay. How do you want to cut the deck? High, low, middle? Let me know.
I like the middle. Let's cut a middling, and it'll be so sweet, it'll be like you're eating a cherry skidlin.
Okay. All right. Ned, I'm going to deal you face up here.
Okay.
You've got a jack.
Good old Jack.
And a 4. So you have 14, and the dealer has a 10 up.
Split them. Split and win lickety split. Wait.
You can't split a jack and a 4.
All right. Let me feel
What kind
this
of
in my
rules are you
tum-tum.
running with? You can't split them.
I just forgot that for a second, but I think that's fair. If he doesn't want to play, there's a house rule thing he's doing. You can't split for some reason. My guts say 14. I'd really like to see a 7, and 7's a lucky number. We got to get a hit. Give me that 7.
All right. You got a 4, so you now have 18.
Not
18.
bad.
What was I saying about lucky 18?
You can't split those 4s.
Oh, thank you for reminding me that, because I was thinking about it. Well, 18, like I said, is a very lucky number, and a prime number. I'll stand.
Can
Still
you?
not a prime number.
Let me just ask, because I have not had as much experience as you, but can you take your blackjack hand of 18 and bring it to the Keno Lounge and apply it to a Keno card?
I always say ask for what you want. The worst they can say is no.
Okay.
Or as I've seen happen with you a few times, is they've asked you to leave.
Then you just go next door. But usually they'll forget and you can come back in about a half hour. What do you got?
Ned, the dealer has 20. 20 beats 18. You lost.
Like I said, into each life a little rain must fall. I'm just going to feel this for a moment in my guts. And, all right, let's double or nothing.
Okay, double or nothing. We're up to $10 now. Okay, Ned, you have an 8. And another 8 against the dealer's 4.
Oh.
I'm not sure what to do because I got a pair. No, we split those apart. Put them, push them. And if you don't mind.
I'm going to put them right next to each other.
No, you should put it in the other room.
I agree.
Okay, I threw that card across the room. So they're about 12 feet apart now.
That is much better. That is to my liking. Thank you very much.
Okay, on your first 8, you got a 9. So you have 17.
We stand on a 17 because 8 and 9, that's a good sequence.
Okay, the other 8, you got a 2. So you have a 10.
10. Let me think now. 10 makes me think of Bo Derek. She was a very beautiful woman. But something tells me I should hit on that one. So let's hit. No, wait.
All right.
I'm going to double down.
Okay. You're doubling down on that. So now you have $10 on the first hand and $20 on the second hand.
I would put 30 if I could, but...
And you were Delta 2, so you have 12 on that second hand.
I'd like a Delta Burke better than a Delta 2.
You can't take any more cards there. So the dealer has a 4 up and a 10 below.
Oh,
Caballo!
That's good. Yeah, let's get a caballo.
And an 8. The dealer busts at 22.
Wow.
My gods have won me $30 now.
Holy cow.
You're up $25. You're up $25 after 2 hands. Do you want to press your luck, or are you done for the evening?
Well, I think I'm going to walk away because my guts say that I won and I taught everybody an important question about how to go with guts.
Well, I think we've proven that the systems work. I mean,
they absolutely
in a practical
work.
application here. I don't know how you can deny it anymore, but like you said, sometimes in every life or something about some rain has to fall. But so what if you follow your Incredisystems to the T and you still lose?
Well, you can't. But if you do, just don't tell anybody. That's a thing. A friend of mine tries to joke with me saying, "Hey, Ned, how much did you lose?" Well, you better prepare to say, "Lost my ass. I won over $1,000 in there." And you better say it like you mean it. Because remember, a loser is someone who acts like a loser. If you act like a winner, you can never really lose. Like, take how much you lost in money and subtract the dollar value for the fun you had, and the people you met, and all the cocktails, and for the life lessons you learned. The more money you lose, the more valuable the life lesson. Therefore, I have yet to lose. So let me tell you a legend of a man I know. This guy was an unassuming guy, easygoing, laid back, a little bit of a speech impediment, but he was a ladies' man, though you might not guess it by just looking at him. He was suave, but in a subtle way. Had a handsome air to himself. Anyway, he walks into the famous Four Queens Casino in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. He was carrying only $20. He smoothly made his way to the craps table, and without batting an eye, threw down his one and only double sawbuck. They chipped it. Now, this man I know, he was so cool, he He puts $10 on the pass line. The bet passed. He put another $10. That bet passed. We fast forward about a half an hour. That man walks to the change booth, gives the cashier a little smile. She looks away. He drops the chips he had taken from the table onto the counter, and they rang melodiously. So she stacked some money, and he said to her, "Don't take any for yourself now, lady." She stifled a laugh. And he collected his money and left the casino, richer, wiser, sadder. Now, friends, I'm not a man who boasts. I'm not a man who doesn't know the fine art of modesty. Hello! But, friends, I need to tell you that man was me!
What?
I did not see that coming.
No, could never have guessed.
Well, I'll tell you, Ned, you are a font of lucky information. We've really enjoyed having you on the podcast. Where can people see you in person or attend your Winstitute?
Well, I'm around.
Okay. All right.
Well, we have a hard time getting a hold of you sometimes. So, if you're giving lessons in person, where might someone find you and at what time? And how much do you charge for lessons?
Oh, that's a good idea. I usually hang downtown. You can usually find me at the Four Queens or the Western, bemoaning the fact that it closed. Yeah, I'll give you lessons. Bring some beer. We'll hang out. We'll try it out. That's what I say.
Is that where Dan can find you to collect the money you owe him?
I don't owe him anything.
Well, you do, Ned, actually. You really do.
No, I don't.
All right, let's...
You borrowed a lot of money and never paid it back.
That's not
right,
true.
We'll settle this off the podcast, you guys. We'll settle this off the podcast. We're running out of time anyway. Folks, thanks so much for joining us. We hope you learned a lot from Lucky Ned, learned as much as we did. And I would tease what's coming up in our next episode, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to be so rich by the next time, I'm not going to bother with this low-rent podcast anymore. But either way, until the next episode of The Neon Gutter, we hope you go with guts.
That's right. Gotta go with guts every single time.
Thanks, Ned.
How do I get to the change? How can I collect that winnings I got? $25 winnings.
The cash won't last.
The Neon Gutter is a Big Empire production. Randy Shandis, executive producer. Our incredible theme music is courtesy of Rosin Coven. Do you have something to say? Call our voicemail line at 775-400-2941. And for more episodes, vintage photographs and video, contact info, and those amazing trip reports, visit us at neongutter.com.
Vegas Haiku by Lucky Ned.
Go with guts. Really. Go with guts. I mean to say, go with guts. And guts. I think Ned would know what an emoji is to answer your question there in the script.